Most drivers think squeaky brakes mean it's time to replace the brake pads. That's exactly why millions of perfectly good brake pads get thrown away every year. In reality, many Japanese technicians follow a simple brake service routine that takes about 10 minutes and often eliminates brake squeal without replacing a single part. The secret isn't an expensive spray or miracle chemical. It's understanding exactly where brake vibration begins and stopping it before the noise can travel through the caliper and suspension. Surprisingly, some dealerships perform this procedure during routine brake inspections because it's faster, cheaper, and often far more effective than installing new pads. Today, I'll show you the same maintenance routine professional technicians use, why it works, and the brake problems it can't fix. If you've been living with annoying squeaky brakes, this may be one of the easiest maintenance tricks you'll ever learn. If you enjoy learning simple maintenance techniques that save money while keeping your vehicle running like new, subscribe to Car Care Xpert and turn on notifications. Because every week we uncover practical repair tips, hidden automotive secrets, and honest maintenance advice that actually works. Let's get started. Step 1 is identifying the type of squeak. Before touching a single tool, experienced Japanese technicians spend a few moments listening carefully to when the noise occurs. Does it happen only during the first few stops in the morning? Does it appear only when braking lightly? Does it disappear after the brakes warm up? These details matter because brake squeal isn't caused by one single problem. Morning squeaks often result from overnight moisture, creating a thin layer of surface rust on the brake rotors. That's completely normal and usually disappears after several brake applications. A constant squeal during every stop, however, usually points toward brake vibration. Contaminated friction surfaces, worn hardware, or glazed brake pads. Understanding the pattern prevents replacing perfectly good parts while ignoring the real cause. Step 2 is cleaning the brake contact points. This is where the famous Japanese service routine begins. Instead of immediately replacing brake pads, technicians remove the pads and carefully clean every location where the pads contact the caliper bracket. Over time, brake dust, corrosion, and road debris build up around these contact points, preventing the pads from sliding smoothly during braking. That restricted movement creates tiny vibrations, and those vibrations become the high-pitched squeal you hear every time you stop. Using a wire brush or abrasive pad, technicians remove corrosion until the contact surfaces are completely clean. It takes only a few minutes, yet it's one of the most overlooked steps during brake service. Many quick brake jobs skip this entirely, allowing the same squeal to return shortly after new pads are installed. Step 3 is applying the correct brake lubricant. Here's where many DIY repairs go wrong. Some people spray lubricant everywhere or use ordinary grease that isn't designed to withstand extreme brake temperatures. Professional technicians do exactly the opposite. They apply a very thin layer of high-temperature synthetic brake lubricant only to the metal contact points where the brake pads slide against the caliper hardware. They also lubricate caliper guide pins whenever required by the manufacturer. The friction surface of the brake pad and the rotor never receive lubricant. Doing so would dramatically reduce braking performance and create a serious safety hazard. Proper lubrication allows the pads to move smoothly while absorbing tiny vibrations before they develop into audible squealing. It's a simple detail that makes an enormous difference in long-term brake performance. Step 4 is inspecting the anti-rattle hardware. Many brake jobs focus entirely on replacing the pads while completely ignoring the stainless steel clips, springs, and retaining hardware that help keep everything properly aligned. Over thousands of miles, these small components weaken, rust, or lose tension. Once that happens, the brake pads can vibrate much more easily, producing the squeal that frustrates so many drivers. That's why Japanese manufacturers frequently recommend replacing brake hardware whenever new pads are installed. Fresh hardware allows the pads to sit securely inside the caliper bracket while maintaining smooth movement during braking. Considering how inexpensive these clips are compared to replacing perfectly good brake pads, they're one of the best values in preventive brake maintenance. Step 5 is inspecting the brake rotors for glazing and uneven wear. Even if your brake pads still have plenty of friction material left, glazed or unevenly worn rotors can create the perfect conditions for brake squeal. Glazing happens when excessive heat hardens and smooths the rotor surface, reducing the friction needed for consistent braking. Instead of the brake pad gripping the rotor evenly, Tiny vibrations develop every time the brakes are applied. Japanese technicians always inspect the rotor surface for deep grooves, blue heat spots, excessive rust, or an almost mirror-like finish that indicates glazing. Light glazing can sometimes be corrected by resurfacing the rotor if it's still above the manufacturer's minimum thickness specification. However, severely worn or heat-damaged rotors should be replaced. Installing brand new brake pads against damaged rotors often results in the same annoying squeal returning within just a few hundred miles. Step 6 is performing the proper brake bedding procedure. This is one of the most overlooked steps in brake maintenance, yet it's standard practice in many professional repair shops. After cleaning the hardware, lubricating the contact points, and installing the pads correctly, technicians don't simply hand the keys back to the customer. Instead, they perform what's known as a bedding or break-in procedure. The goal is to gradually transfer an even layer of brake pad material onto the rotor surface. This creates consistent friction between the pad and rotor while minimizing vibration and uneven wear. A typical bedding procedure involves making several controlled stops from moderate speeds without coming to a complete stop between each application, allowing the brakes to cool slightly before repeating the process. The exact procedure varies depending on the brake pad manufacturer, so it's always worth following the instructions included with the new pads. Skipping this step can lead to uneven pad deposits, vibration, and squealing even when every part is brand new. Step 7 is checking the caliper guide pins. One sticking guide pin can undo every other repair you've performed. Floating brake calipers rely on smooth-moving guide pins to apply equal pressure to both brake pads. If corrosion, dried grease, or torn rubber boots prevent the pins from sliding freely, one pad may drag against the rotor while the other barely makes contact. The result is uneven pad wear, excessive heat, poor braking performance, and persistent squealing that many drivers mistakenly blame on the pads themselves. During every brake service, experienced technicians remove the guide pins. Inspect them for corrosion or wear, clean them thoroughly, and apply fresh high-temperature brake grease before reinstalling them. If the protective rubber boots are torn, they should be replaced immediately because moisture and dirt entering the guide pin bore will quickly cause the problem to return. Before you assume every squeaky brake can be fixed with this routine, remember that some noises are warning signs, not maintenance issues. If your brakes produce a harsh grinding sound, the friction material may already be completely worn away, allowing metal backing plates to contact the rotors. That's no longer a simple 10-minute repair. Likewise, if the brake pedal pulsates, the vehicle pulls sharply to one side during braking, or warning lights appear on the dashboard, those symptoms require proper diagnosis before attempting any quick fix. Brake squeal caused by vibration is one thing. Mechanical damage or hydraulic system problems are something entirely different. Another common mistake is spraying so-called brake quiet products onto assembled brakes without identifying the actual source of the noise. While some products can temporarily reduce vibration, they rarely solve the underlying problem if corrosion, worn hardware, sticking guide pins, or damaged rotors are causing the squeal. Lasting repairs come from addressing the root cause, not masking the symptom. That's why the Japanese maintenance approach focuses on careful inspection, cleaning, lubrication, and correct installation rather than relying on miracle sprays or expensive aftermarket additives. If you've ever eliminated brake squeal using one of these techniques, or you've discovered another maintenance tip that worked for your vehicle, share it in the comments below. Your experience could save another driver from replacing perfectly good brake pads unnecessarily. Don't forget to subscribe to Car Care Xpert and turn on notifications, because every week we uncover practical maintenance tricks, honest automotive advice, and money-saving repair techniques that help keep your vehicle running quietly, safely, and reliably for years to come. Thanks for watching. Maintain your brakes regularly, drive safely, and we'll see you in the next video.